Assalamu alaikum and welcome back everyone to chapter 4.1 of the Arduino series. In this video, I'm going to cover the KS-016 RGB LED board. The complexity of this video is going to be very low due to the nature of the component. It's just an LED and the video is going to be very short. And if you wish to purchase yourself an RGB board just like mine or similar to mine, there's going to be a link in the description where you can get yourself one. Now we have 4 different pins in total. The one on the right is symbolized by a negative sign, which is the pin that we're going to connect to the ground. And the other 3 RG and B, red, green and blue respectively, are the pins that are dedicated for the colors. I've color coded the wires just so that we can differentiate between the pins more easily. And if you look closer into the LED, you've got 4 different pins that are connected to it. You've got one that's obviously going to be for the ground, and you've got 3 others that are each connected to a different pin. Now this basically means that a portion of the LED is going to shine red, a portion of it's going to shine blue, and a portion of it's going to shine green. The way I have my RGB LED board connected is that I have the red pin connected to 4, I have the green pin connected to 7, and the blue pin connected to 8. Now, since I'm going to demonstrate using analog, I am not using the pins that have a tiled or to the hyphen next to them, since they are digital pins and only produce a high output or a low output, which is not enough for this demonstration. Now, there's no problem with using the digital pins as long as you use the correct code and you ground your circuit. Now, to begin, you want to open up your Arduino software, then go to Tools tab. There's 2 options that we're after. We're after the board and we're after the port option. You just want to make sure that they're connected correctly. I'm using the Arduino Uno, so Arduino Uno is going to be the board I'm going to choose. And for port, I only have one option available, which is COM7. If it's not, then you just want to siphon through or the one that says Arduino Uno. Now I've made 6 variables, each of them I've used separately. So to start off, I've made 3 for the colors R, G and B. I've made them pin 4, pin 7 and pin 8 due to the fact that these are PWM pins and I'm allowed to control the intensity or the amount of voltage that passes and therefore control the brightness of the LED. Next, I've defined another variable called the intensity. This is the value that I'm going to put to, that's going to control the intensity. This is going to be the value where if I was to increase it, it would increase the brightness, and if I was to decrease it, it would decrease the brightness. And this is the delay variable that I've decided to use. This will basically, I'm going to put this in between the colors just so that it's visible to the eye and I'm able to see what's happening and to see that the color changes. Now in my void setup, I've told the Arduino the function and the purpose of the pins. I've told the Arduino that it's going to act as output, and I've used the command pin mode R, G and B output. Now just make sure that your output is all capital letters since it's case sensitive, and your M is also uppercase. Now the command that I've written in void loop divided into 3 sections, one for each color, red, green and blue. They all hold the same format in terms of commands. To begin with, I'm going to start off with using red as an example. I've started with using analog write. This allows me to control the intensity. I've used the value 512, which is basically half of 1 or half of the highest value that I can use. The highest value that I can use in analog write is 1023. Now 512 is roughly half of it. It will give me half the intensity of what it would if I was to replace it with 1023. Next, I've used delay with a value of 1000. This is 1000 milliseconds, which is 1 second. And next, I've used digital write. I've put this here just so to show as an example that you can change it between analog write and digital write whenever it does suit your needs and commands. Now, I've continued with this format for the other colors, green and blue. Also, keep in mind that if you were to replace the value of, I guess in this case what I've dubbed as intensity in the analog write as high or low in between them, it will not work and the command will not function. The Arduino will just simply skip it and move on to the next command that's correct. So it won't actually read as an error, it will just skip it. And if you wish to copy and paste my mediocre and basic code, you'll find in my Discord, which you can access through the link in the description. And if this video has benefited you in any way, give it a like, and if you wish to continue with us in this series, consider subscribing.